Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So those of you that watch the channel regularly will know that I've recently acquired this Yamaha XV535 virago. The idea was that I'd just buy something that I could run about on, something a wee bit lighter than I'm usually used to. However, the issue has arisen since I first took it out last weekend. I've realised that although it runs fine and it's very smooth and responsive, once you hit a certain speed, probably about 45 miles per hour, it bogs down. It's like it just coughs. I don't know if it's firing on one cylinder at a certain rev range or what, but I've done a couple of little changes since then off video. I've changed the oil in the engine, and it is a really low mileage bike. I think it's sat around a lot of its life. It's a 1990 model, but it's only done just over 3,000 miles. So as a result, yeah, it probably does need a little bit of TLC. The age isn't on its side. So yeah, I'm just going to go and tinker away with it and sort of change little bits and pieces there. It's a bit of guesswork, but I think it's just going to benefit the bike in the long run. So like I say, I've done the oil. I've changed the plugs, so one plug's in sort of this side, and on the front cylinder it's on the other side of the engine. So the spark plugs are quite easy to get into. You just remove this little like covers on the top of the cylinder, and then it's just a normal spark plug spanner straight in. Not like when you're doing them on sort of my Bandit 1200 projects, a nightmare to get the plugs out. This was fairly simple. So short of that, I actually read on a site called Reddit where people discuss these things, that the symptoms are indicative of possible regulator rectifier issue. So we've acquired one of them. I'll be fitting that today as well, and I'm going to take. So the air filter's in underneath this fuel tank. It sits right in the middle of the frame. It's quite a large item, and I'm wondering if it's ever been changed, to be honest, because obviously with the age of the bike and that. So I've got one of them as well, going to fit that in. And you do get a tuning kit available online. I noticed that you get a different air filter. It's like a foam air filter. I think it's Jared or something like that, but you have to change the main jets and stuff and the carbs, and you know, it's quite an expensive item, and I thought I'm just going to keep this bike totally standard because I get carried away on myself and I don't want to have too many projects. Like I say, the idea was just to get on this, get a bit of use out of it, have a bit of fun while I'm working on my other bikes, but it's turning into a wee bit of a project as well now, so I just want to try and get it running right, and then concentrate on the other projects that I've got on the go on this channel. The first thing is really just to take this tank off here and get the air filter done first, and then we'll do the regulator rectifier next. Lovely day for it though. You can see the blue sky behind me. I think this is the first good day we've had yet. Certainly up in this neck of the woods. So the rear section of the seat, it comes off with the key, and you basically just turn the key around, lift it at the front, and it just slides off a little keyway at the back, and then it allows you to get into the bolts for the front section of the seat, and they're just like a 10mm at either side, and these ones have been copper slipped previously, so they're actually really easy to get out of the frame here. So the idea is that we'll get the seat off, and it'll give us a little bit more room for bringing that petrol tank back to get the air filter changed. So once these bolts are out, I think you just slide it back, and again it's on. I'll come closer to the camera and let you see. So it's on these wee lugs that go in under the frame there. So you lift the back up, you slide that out, and that's the seat away. So lifting the fuel tank off, there's two bolts at the front there, and they look like that. You know, so there's one on either side at the front of that little tank. And when you lift the seat out, there's one bolt that just sits under the front of the seat there. So the ones on the side there, they were an 8mm, but the one at the back under the seat, that actually looks like a 12. I'll bring you up and let you see there. So because of the glare on this camera that I'm using, you don't really see what you're recording. So hopefully this is in shot. So you just take that one out there as well, and that'll be the tank free. I don't want to undo hoses or anything like that. I just want to pull it away enough that I can get into where the air filter's housed. Right, so I lifted the tank off there, it's all nice and loose, and changing this air filter is going to be fairly simple. But what I will mention here is, the wee rubbers here, they're like rubber washers that go on the inside to the lug for the tank. So you've got the bolt there for the tank at the front, and these rubbers at the back of it. So I think it would be very easy to sort of drop and lose them, because I nearly did. So worth mentioning, keep an eye out for that if you're removing the tank. So there's one of them on either side. I'll just set them on the bolts just now. You can see there's actually a shape there as well with that rubber. Oh, there you can see that. There's like a wee keyway bit that goes into the tank hole, and that sits on the other side like that. Don't lose these parts, because I think they'll probably be very hard to come by if they're still made. Right, so here's the one that's come out, and to be honest, it looks like it's got a wee bit of age to it, but it's no as black and dirty as I kind of expected it to be honest. A wee comparison of the new one and this. Obviously this metal section here, that just slides right out. And we'll have to keep it the right way around, because obviously the threaded part that holds that, this is the top of the air filter housing, and that threaded part, that goes straight through the middle of the air filter and screws in there. This just kind of hold it all together, so it's no sort of rattling about. So whether this needed changed or not is it's up for question, but there is a wee bit of a difference there. It has got a wee bit of age to it, but it's the particles and everything that are in the material of it. I mean, it could be choked, it's just not black, I don't know. We'll put the new one in anyway, it'll definitely make the bike healthier. Basically just lift the tank out the way there, and then you can just drop that in. Right, so what we've got here, guys, is in this side, and unfortunately I've not got a centre stand, so the bike's kind of leaning over this way, but just in this cover here is the regulator rectifier. So I've never taken it off. I'm going to have to figure it out. I'm going to do that off camera, but apparently the part that I bought sits just inside this cover here on a couple of nuts, so we'll take it off and then I'll get a bit of footage once that's removed. It looks actually fairly simple. So this section of the frame just comes off there, that just sits there, just like that, as a cover. So when you take that off, you can see the housing there, it's just held on with 2 bolts there. So that'll drop free, and then I'm assuming the 2 that are in the cover are what's holding the actual regulator rectifier thing at the back. So yeah, providing that the electrical plugs are correct on the item that I've bought, this should be a fairly easy swap as well. So I would say, I've got it all free here, but the hardest part of this whole project there is tracing the wires and getting the plugs undone. Everything's so tight in here that trying to run them through again is going to be a bit of a nightmare. But what it has given me the opportunity to do is, now that I've got the 2 connections unplugged, I'm going to get the new one. I'm just going to compare them before going and try and route anything. Right, so everything looks kind of different but the same, if you know what I mean. So yeah, now it's just a case of trying to get these wires all through and then feed the new ones in. Right, so I've actually got the cover out with the regulator rectifier in it, but my issue is, don't know if you can see this, but can't get these screws out at the back. So I'm going to have to call it a day here at my garage. I'm going to have to head home and maybe try and use an impact driver with these or something. But for now, I'm going to have to tidy everything away here. Right, so that there, guys, is it back in location. You can see the head bolts. They're not the standard ones now. So what I had to do, what I had to get done is I had to drill them out. But my drill wasn't working, batteries were flat, so my dad kindly offered to do it himself using his drill. So yeah, I got a little bit of a reprieve on that one. He had it done really quickly. 5 minutes later he just handed me back the part. So yeah, this is me back up here getting it all fitted up. So the fuel tank's still able to be rocked a bit just to get that loom in. Yeah, so you need to loosen off the 2 bolts at the top, and we've got the loom ready just to be sort of fed back up into position. So we'll do that next and then try and tidy everything up. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to start this up. That's everything in, everything back together, albeit the seat's still removed. So I've got in here a wee digital multimeter, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start it up. I'm going to meter the battery and see that it's charging okay. I see that it's charging better than it was. It was charging before, but the battery was sitting whilst the bike was running at like 12.8, and I wasn't really sure if that was high enough. Certainly in my other bikes, if you meter them when they're running, they seem to sit a wee bit higher than that. But if it's still at 12.8, then so be it. But hopefully it's made an improvement. Time will tell. Right, so it's kind of difficult for me to show you this on camera, but it's definitely charging at a higher rate than it was. When you rev it now, you're talking 13.89 volts there. So very pleased, it seems to have made an improvement. So time's running out for me today. I know it looks bright and whatnot, but I've got other stuff to do. I'm going to just put this away for now. I'm going to do my other tasks, and I'll get back down here probably in a couple of days, and I'll probably take it out for a test run. But for now, I would just like to thank you all for watching the video. Please hit the like and subscribe. I'll keep tinkering with stuff, keep making content, and hope to see you on the next one. Bye for now.